Hi, my name is Michael. In this video, we are going to talk about CSS. How you can link CSS to your HTML. We're going to talk about colors, border, font family, font size, and also we're going to talk about the best practices how to link your CSS to your HTML. Seriously, let's go right into it. What does CSS mean? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. Now, for you to control multiple web pages, which means you have to use an external style sheet. You use the embedded or the inline, that will work for it. So why use CSS? CSS is used to define the style for a web page, including the design, layout, and variation in display for different devices. Now this means that when you're creating a page, you're not just creating it for a laptop or a pad. You're creating it for his Android phones. You're creating for almost a lot of devices that can connect to the internet. So it has to be responsive. The Outlook has to be able to change to that device so that it will display optimally. So now, how do you link your CSS to your HTML? There are three ways you can do it. You can either use inline, embedded, or external. First, I'll start with an inline. So let's go to my browser now. Okay, now inline style. Inline style are used to apply the unique rules to an element by putting the CSS rule directly into the start tag. It can be attached to an element using the style attribute. So this is how it works when you want to use an inline. So I'm going to come to this H1. Let me clean this up. Then you type style. Okay. So now let's change the color to yellow. Okay, then type yellow. So you can see the yellow, okay, it's not showing that well. The yellow has changed in color to yellow. So let me change it to red so that you can see it properly. Let's try red. Okay, now this is an inline style, and it only affects this hello world, and we put it into the head, the starting tag of the H1. That's where you put it when you want to put an inline style. But usually it's not the best to use an inline style because it only affects one tag. So now let's go into the embedded. Okay, right now we're going to talk about the embedded style sheet, which is also called the internal style sheet. The internal style sheet only affects the documents they are embedded in. Embedded style sheets are defined in the head section of the HTML document using the style element. You can define any number of style elements in an HTML document, but they must appear between the head, the opening tag of the head, and the closing tag of the head. So right now, let me show you how it works. We'll come into the head, that's beside the title, create a space there, then type the greater than, then our style, or if you just type style, automatically fill, style, So we have our closing and our opening and closing tag. So right now we're going to target the H1, this hello world right here. So let me show you how that works. So now we type H1 curly brace space. Let's change the color to blue. And CSS has a lot of CSS declaration. You need to find out more about it. So this is just to change the color blue. Let me move the text to the center as text align. Center. Notice the text now in the center. Let me give it a background color. I'll just click background color, and let's make the background color brown. Okay, now I want you to notice something when you start working on your pages, your web pages. Look up here. This is space up here. This is space at the side and at this side too. HTML pages usually come with a margin, or CSS, it comes with a margin on it. So you need to remove the margin. To do that, just come up, then type in your asterisk. So the asterisk, basically, when you're using the asterisk, anything you type in it affects the whole page. So because we want to remove the margin, from the whole page, that's why we're using the asterisk. Usually we don't use it because anything typed in it affects the whole page. So our curly brace, then we remove margin, we come to margin and put 0. So if you now notice here, the space is gone, no more space. So now let's increase the height. We want to increase the height. Don't forget to put your closing semicolon. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't put that there. So let's say I want the height to be, let's say, 200 pixels. Let's increase the text font size to 700 pixels. Oh, that's too large. Let's do 200. Okay, let's make it 100. Okay. Okay, wait. So I put, so if you notice when I type this, I type the font size and the height into where I put the asterisk, but still it's not meant to be here. Let me remove it from here. It's meant to be the H1 because that's what I'm targeting. Remove it. Then the margin will remain there. So let's really paste it here. Okay, now if you take notes, the color and everything we did is not working. That is because when I copied it, I also copied the closing tag of the asterisk. So I need to put that back. Okay, to see the closing curly brace was not there, and that was why. So if you look at it now, everything is working. If I want to make use of the class, I simply just need to change the name of my CSS, which was H1 to HD, because that was the name I put in my class HD. If you take a look at it, then after that I need to put a full stop at the front. Okay, so it's important you have to put that full stop because that is the sign of a class. You have to put a full stop at the front of whatever name. My name is HD, so depending on what you name it, you have to put a full stop there. If you're using a class, if you're using an ID, you need to use a hash. Let me show you. ID. When you use an ID, you use hash. You can see. Okay, now let's move on to external style sheet.
Now, how do you create an external style sheet? Well, let me tell you about it. An external style sheet is ideal when the style is applied to many pages of the website. An external style sheet holds all the style rules in a separate document that you can link from any HTML file on your site. External style sheets are the most flexible because with an external style sheet you can change the outlook of an entire website by changing just one sheet. The reason why the external style sheet is better than the inline or the internal style sheet is because you can use the external style sheet to style multiple pages, while the internal can only be used in one page and the inline can only be used for one tag that you want it to affect. But external is much better. Now let me show you how it works. So you start by creating the link, by creating the page. So you come up to your file, click new file, then you save it. So now you give it a name. You can give it any name you want. So you're just going to call ours style. Just going to call it style. Then the type is CSS. Is that okay? Right here. Then you save it. Then okay, I've already created one, so let me move this. So once you save it, you see it up here, it says style.css. Don't worry about the icon appearing. I've installed an extension to my Visual Studio, so that's why these icons are showing.
Okay, now to link it, okay. Now we type link, then reel. Now it's good to have an idea what is inside each tag or each line, because like right now I'm using Visual Studio, I can auto complete it. What if I'm using like Notepad or I'm using any other editor that doesn't have an autocomplete, which means I'll be stuck. I'll be like, oh no, I don't know what's really inside it to link it. I don't know what I really need. So now I'm going to type it. Now you need, so we type link, then reel equals some quotation mark. Then in it, we're going to type style sheet. So let's type that style sheet. Then we come out. Then we put our ref equals to that. Okay. So right now, I'm going to show you something so you don't make a mistake when you're trying to link your CSS to your HTML. So right now, I put in the name of my file. The name of my file is style.css. Because the name is style, then this is the extension .css. Now, my file is not, my CSS is not inside a document, like a separate document on its own. My CSS is inside a document with the HTML that both together. So because they're together, I don't need to put a like CSS slash. The reason why I don't need to do that is because the CSS slash right here is the name of the document where the CSS is. Where the slash is, okay, the name of the document is CSS slash, go inside it and you'll see my CSS file in it. Okay, let me finish with this. I'll explain it a little bit more. Okay, so now we have connected the CSS file to our HTML. Okay. So now we're using, let me change the ID to class. Right now you can see that we don't have any effect, nothing is working yet. So let me go into my CSS, my style, then in it, okay, let me clear this. Remove. And adjust. Okay. If you notice, nothing is working. You know why it's not working? The reason why nothing is working is because my connection is wrong. As I was trying to explain, I put the CSS slash, which means I'm saying that find the document CSS. Inside this CSS document, you see a file named style. But since I did not create a document and the file is beside the, let me show you how it looks like. Okay, so this is it. This is my CSS and this is my HTML. Cycle each other. As you can see, the CSS is not inside a folder. So let's go back. Then color. I said the color is this, and I want it to be blue. Notice it's not working. So now let me remove this CSS slash. Okay, after removing it, let's go to this is a class. Put a full stop at the front. Because I'm using a class, I have to put a full stop at the front. Okay, notice it's working now. So let's do some things with this. Let's say color blue, background. Okay, this is the color. Then let's text align, center, then let's increase the height. Done this before, so I'm just showing you again. Increase the height 200 pixels. There's something else you can do. If you notice now, you see that the hello world is up. Let's move it down a little. Then now use padding top. Let's make that 50. Let's see what it looks like. Notice I brought it down. So let's increase it to, let's try 80. Leave it down. And let's give a font size. Let's make it 300 pixels. That's too big. This is 200. Okay, that's too big. 100. So you can see it now. Hello world. So anyhow, I showed you why we have all this space here on top and here. So you could just do that, remove the space. Okay. So let me show you another thing. Let me show you how to do the border. So the border now 1 pixels solid. Let's use black. So you can change the color. It could be black, it could be purple, any color you want for the border. Round it. So let me increase it a little more so that you can see it well. 3. You can see it's thick. Let's increase it to 5. You can see it well. Now there's another way you can do it if you don't want the border to be rounded. So let's say you just want the border to be on top of it or at the side. So let's come to border, up, border. What we put is border top. You can see we have a border on top now. If we want, we can also put it underneath border bottom. In fact, you could use everything like border bottom, border top, border left. Let me show you how it will look like. Copy, then let's paste it. So let's say we want border on top, border top. You can see that. Let's say we want to border to the left. Do the same thing and just change it after the border and the straight line. Just change it to left. You can see we have a border here. Maybe put the border to the right. Paste. Just change the bottom, and we have border to the right. You can see now we have border to the right. So, and if you don't want it to go round, you just put one or the other, with anyone you want. Then this solid can also be changed. You can have dash if you don't want solid there. That's it. So if you notice the side here, look at this. Just dash, 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 dash. Let me change the others. Mint. Dash. Click again, dash. You can see you have with dash. And just change one more again. Oh, change to the pixels and dash. So depending how you want it, there are many other ways you can make this look like. So now let's go back to our HTML. Now we're going to add a little image here. So let me show you how this works. We have our greater than sign. I could just put image. Let's move it faster. Now, images. If we want to add an image to our HTML, there's a way you have to go about it. One, you have to create. Let me go back. You have to create a folder for it. You create a folder for your image. Just left click, come to new, and create a folder. You can give the folder any name you want. Once you click it, you can see. You can give the folder any name you want, but you have to remember that name. Okay. Let me remove the one I just created. So you have to remember that name. Then once you create the folder, put all your pictures in it. This makes it very easy and won't make everything look scattered all about. Okay, so now let's go back to our Visual Studio. So now to link the image to our HTML, the name of the folder. So this is what I was trying to explain to you with the CSS link. With the CSS link, because there was no folder created for the CSS, so I didn't need to put that CSS slash, because that CSS was the name of the folder and the slash shows the direction where it is. So because I created a folder for the image, I have to put the folder name. And okay, the name of the folder is image. Go into the folder and look for the picture name need space CSS, because that's what I named the picture. So let me show you. Come into the folder. You can see the name here, need CSS, with space there. So automatically when I was typing, I typed image, name of the document, and slash. Visual Studio automatically showed me the picture, so I just clicked on it and the name appeared. So let me show you how it works again. So when I put the slash, you can now see need. So depending, if I add a lot of images here, all the images name will show. So I'm just going to click this, or I could just type it with my hand since I know the name. So come forward and type need. So now the name has to match. You can't type need with a capital letter, while on the image the name starts with a small letter need. It has to match CSS. Then also take note of the type, this .png. This .png is very important. So let me just click enter. Let's go back. My pictures have appeared. So imagine if I don't know the name of the type of document it is. So I have a picture, but I don't know if it's a JPG or PNG or any other type. Just click on your image, left click, then come to properties, click on it. Then you see type file PNG. You now come to this bracket and see .png. That's what you're going to use. It's very important. I'm going to show you if you use a wrong one, what happens. So let's close this. So now, okay, you can also see we have alter. So alter, basically what it does is, imagine if your picture doesn't show, or the picture did not load on the website or on the web page, this will give you an alternative text that will show in place of that image. So let's say let's type something here. This is a picture of CSS. So imagine I made a mistake. Instead of putting PNG here, I put JPG. It's not going to work because that's not the type. That's not the type of picture it is. And because I got it wrong, the image is gone, and you can now see the alternative text that I typed is now showing in place of the image. You now see a small little icon here. So this is showing in place of the picture, and this is very good to help your website in SEO optimization, so that Google can know, okay, in this website you have a picture called this and this. And even it also helps your website when sometimes people are looking for images to use. You notice when you go to Google and you're in the image size, all those images that show, some of those images are from websites which have been properly titled or altered. They use the good author. So once people search, okay, I'm looking for a picture of a flower or a man, it checks and just brings out all those pictures, from some from websites, and including the link. So that's why you notice when you say picture, you click on it, okay, so just click down on the link and go to the website. Okay, so let's put the proper type. It's not case sensitive, so I can just put it in small letters too, and it will work. See? So the image is showing now. So now let me explain some things about the CSS that I use. So see, now we have our selector. This is it right here. My selector, I use HD. I can use any name if I want. Then the property is the color. Right here it says color. It could be background. It could be text align. It could be many other things. Then the value is the blue. Altogether, this is called a declaration. And look at the way it's aligned. The way it's aligned here is side by side, but mostly it's the best to do it this other way. One declaration on top of the other. And it looks more nicer that way. So this is where I'm going to stop for now. Please like, subscribe to the channel so that you can when new videos are uploaded. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.